Hey planters, welcome back to Plants and Pilatay's YouTube channel. My name is Jack and today we're going to be talking about moss poles. So let me tell you a little bit about what a moss pole is. Here at Plants and Pilatay's, we use sphagnum moss as the interior of our moss poles. We like sphagnum moss because it holds moisture well, which allows your aerial roots of your plants to seek out that moisture and grow into it to get a strong foundation into the moss pole itself. We also use a bamboo stick to actually penetrate into the dirt. We use bamboo because it is resistant to moisture, so it's not going to get moldy or brittle over time, as well as it's small, so you're not going to damage the roots in the pot itself. And on the outside of our moss pole, we use a black plastic fencing, which will hold the sphagnum moss in, as well as having big enough holes to let the aerial roots grow into the moss pole itself seamlessly. So you might be wondering, why would my plant even need a moss pole? Well, let me tell you. Moss poles are beneficial because it allows the plant to grow upward, giving it a more natural environment and growth cycle. By optimizing the plant's natural growth cycle and growth environment as much as you can, it's going to promote larger growth and faster growth. Not only does it benefit your plant, but it can benefit your home jungle because it's going to give you a more aesthetically pleasing look. If you had a plant that was growing down or outward, now you can make it grow up into a tall, beautiful looking plant. If you're wondering which of your plants should have a moss pole, well, the answer is simple. Any plant that has aerial roots can have a moss pole, and any plant that has any strain or any trouble growing outside of its pot, you can just simply put a moss pole to train it to grow upwards. So some examples of these plants are monsteras, scindapsus, pothos, philodendron. Really, like I said, anything that has an aerial root, you can make it grow upward. So now that you know the basics of a moss pole, you might be wondering, how or when should I add a moss pole? You can never really be too early when adding a moss pole to your plant. Any plant of any size can benefit from it. A good time I would suggest to add a moss pole is when you're repotting your plant. So let me show you the benefits of this monstera having this moss pole. I'm going to untie this plant tape here and show you the way it's going to lay without the moss pole. So as you can see, the monstera is just standing up on its own. It's kind of doing whatever. As it gets larger and bigger, it's actually just going to fall and possibly put strain on its stem on the edge of the pot. So what I'm going to do next is I have the moss pole in here and I'm going to line up the growth of the plant with the moss pole. You can see this aerial root right here, and I'm going to tie it using the plant tape to the moss pole. And as this plant grows and gets bigger, its aerial root will actually grow into the moss pole, so where you won't even need plant tape anymore. Well, there you have it, planters. That's everything you need to know about moss poles. If you want a moss pole just like this one, head on over to plantsandpilates.com and you can purchase one there. Find and follow us on our social medias. They're all linked down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again, planters. We'll see you next time.